In this video, we're going to analyze polynomial functions and create a graph by hand. So let's graph the polynomial function f of x is equal to x plus 4 times x minus 1 times x plus 5 using parts a through e. The parent function here is going to be the power function that's based off of is going to be a coefficient of 1 that's going to be invisible, x to the third. And the x-intercepts are going to be -4, 1, and -5. So let's put them on the graph here. -4, +1, and -5 is right there next to -4. The y-intercept is going to be 4 times -1 is -4 times 5 is -20. So this is down here. Each of these is 4. So -20 is right there. Hang on, let me make sure that each of those is 4. 16. No, each of these is 2. So 20 is right there. Let me get a better dot here for -4 and -5 and +1. All right. Y-intercept is at -20. The zeros of f are, again, -4, 1, and -5. The least zero is a zero of multiplicity 1. So the graph of f crosses the x-axis at x equals -5. The middle zero is of multiplicity 1, so the graph crosses at x equals -4. And the greatest zero is of multiplicity 1, so it crosses at x equals 1. This is crosses, crosses, and crosses. Determine the maximum number of turning points. That would be 2. And so we have end behavior where it's rising to the right and falling to the left. And it's just going to go, and we should get some additional points here if necessary. The graphing tool is going to graph this perfectly for us. It's going to tell us that it's going to come up here and turn and then go down kind of like this. This is just going to be a little bit of a sketch for me. It's not going to be quite as perfect as the graphing tool is going to do, but it's going to be something kind of like that. And now let's look at the second one, where this one is going to behave like 1x cubed, which is its leading term. We're going to have to factor this common factor of x squared plus x minus 2, and that factors into x plus 2 times x minus 1, which give me zeros of 0, -2, and 1. And the y-intercept is going to be at 0. The zeros are 0, -2, and 1. Smallest 0 has a multiplicity of 1, so it crosses at x equals -2. The middle has a multiplicity of 1, so the graph crosses at x equals 0. And the greatest has a multiplicity of 1, so it crosses at x equals 1. And 2 turning points here. This was crosses, crosses, crosses. Let's get my zeros on here. 0, -2, and 1. It's going to rise to the right and fall to the left. It's going to be falling. And then it's going to come up here a little bit and turn. And then come back down a little bit and turn. And head right on back up. And your graphing tool will graph that perfectly for you as you give it those characteristic points there, where you give it this intercept and then that intercept and then that point, and you might need another point, but it'll get it perfectly there. All right, this graph is going to behave like 3x to the 4th. So it's going to rise to the right and to the left. The x-intercepts here, we're going to have to factor out a common factor of 3x, and that gives me x cubed plus 7x squared minus 9x minus 63. And then that's 3x times x squared times x plus 7 minus 9 times x plus 7 has a common factor of x plus 7 and leaves me with x squared minus 9, which is 3x times x plus 7 times x plus 3 times x minus 3. X squared minus 9 is a difference of squares that factors into x plus 3 times x minus 3. So the x-intercepts are going to be at 0, -7, -3, and 3. 4 zeros there. The y-intercept is going to be at 0 because there's no constant term there. It's an invisible 0. Same thing here, -7, -3, and 3. Let's go in order here. That this is -7, -3, 0, and 3. These all have a multiplicity of 1. So these all cross. And the maximum number of turning points is going to be 3 because 4 minus 1 is going to be 3. This is going to open up because the leading coefficient here is positive, and so it's between C and D. And if we zoom in here a little bit closer, we'll see that we have, let's check those intercepts out here, that we need to have a -7. Well, that's going to be C because D doesn't have an intercept of -7. So we have -7, -3, 0, and 3. So that's C. And that's it for this video. And we'll come back next time and keep talking about 3.2. See you for the next video.